G'day mates, and thank you for coming out tonight to the 2009 Big Red Machine Spectacular.
We appreciate your appreciation to the Big Red Machine. It is now time for the infamous Fight Song Breakdown, plus a little off-the-cuff humor. Hope you know the words. Before we start, I'd like to add that the Big Red Machine asks of you not to use flash photography during the performance. Also, any tips you may have can go to this gentleman standing here, Mr. Ben Rozier. Now, being our tip collector for the night, please join me in a round of applause because he hasn't done much of anything else this season.
Alrighty, first up we have the loudest group of the band, the flutes. The flute section. The flutes pretty much add nothing to the band, and truthfully we'd be better off without them. Maybe they add a little something. Now I present to you the flutes of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was fantastical. Next up we have the rather interesting clarinet section. Recovering from the loss of Mrs. Mary Brownell, the clarinets had a very successful year. Adding to the sound of the band, the clarinets produced many of the upper voices, and sometimes a little too upper. And now we present to you the 2009 clarinets of the Big Red Machine.
Up to bat next, we have the bass clarinet section. Comprised of only females, the bass clarinets are surprisingly good. Like the clarinets, the bass clarinets produce the same type of sound, only lower and a little less annoying. Please sit back and let your ears wander through the meadows of the bass clarinets of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was bass clarinet-tastical. Without this next section, the band is merely a bunch of wimps, providing one of the most soothing voices of them all. The alto saxophone section doesn't mess around, calming the band down with their seductive sounds. The altos know how to get jiggy with it. Take this moment, snap your fingers along with the alto saxophones of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
Very well done, saxophones. Hopefully you won't play that at my funeral. And now, the largest section of the band, the tenor saxophones. Laying down that funky beat, Natalie leads this huge section to produce some of the worst sounds you can imagine. With the middle voice of the band, the tenor saxes definitely aren't as annoying as most woodwinds. Even though you might want to leave halfway through this, please remain seated and enjoy the tenor saxophones of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was tenor saxophone-tastical. Now that we got that over with, now move on to the baritone saxophone section. These saxophones give the band that lower voice we all came to listen to. The bari saxes, with the two best-looking people in the band, will hopefully have sounds to accompany their stunning looks. Sit back and relax to the sounds of the bari saxophones of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
Beautiful. By now I'm sure you are sick of hearing woodwinds, so we're on to the sounds of the illustrious brass sections. Up first in the brass category is the mellophone section. I'd have to admit, the mellophones are probably the coolest instrument in the band, but although it's a cool instrument, the students that play this are far from it. Actually, most of them are some of the most boring, lame, and uninteresting people I've ever met. But anyway, this isn't a job interview. You're here to listen to some music. Mellophones get a little nervous sometimes, so try not to look at them as they play. Please enjoy Mellophones of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was mellophone-tastical. Well done, kids. Up next, the most dreaded section of the night, we have the trumpets. When the trumpet section isn't performing at concerts like this, they can be found naked in casinos or simply not getting any work done. But besides this, the trumpets have made some huge milestones this season with the help of their sexy section leader, Mr. Mark Beam. With their GPA sometimes confused as their IQs, thankfully, the trumpets can actually figure out how to play their instruments. With this, I present to you the trumpets of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was trumpet-tastical. Nice. This season, the Big Red Machine has made many improvements. Not complimenting this is the trombone section. The trombone, created in Africa in 2006, adds a low but unsuspected sound to our band. With the attention span of a gnat, you'd be surprised at how well they can play. After countless hours of practice, the trombones are here tonight to showcase what they think is talent. We'll see about that, won't we? And now, we present to you the trombones of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was trombone-tastical. Up to the plate next is the euphonium section. Unlike the trombones, the euphoniums actually have some talent. This season, the euphoniums have truly showcased what the Big Red Machine represents. With a truly horrific sound, we're going to try to pretend the euphoniums actually play good. We present to you the euphoniums of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
Closing our showcase of the wind variety, we have the bumpin' tuba section. Over the years, the tubas have not really been the strongest section, but this year the tubas show up with large numbers and are ready to blow. The tubas provide the band with the low groove and do a heck of a good job doing it. With root beer in hand, Kenny Burris is the mastermind behind this impressive section. Sit back and relax as the tubas lay down the funk to the Vicksburg fight song. Ladies and gents, the tubas of the 2009 Big Red Machine.
That was tuba-tastical.